Oh my God, you see, they just bombed Iran. You were right the whole time. She showed me other things. When the star of Regulus is red on the horizon in front of the gaze of the Sphinx before daylight, that moment would mark a change in humanity's knowledge. They took that celestial event and ran it through these machines that showed that exact alignment will happen in 2026 at Easter.
What will happen?
When the suffering of man becomes too great, they're going to stop it. They're going to snuff out the darkness.
Where do you think you were for the hours that you disappeared during the incident in 2007?
Well, I can tell you I had no clue until 2008 when MUFON came and did the Discovery Show. They actually sent a guy from a Harvard-trained psychiatrist that does hypnosis, and he hypnotized me first to say we're removing this block, and then we're going to come back next week and find out what happened. So he did the first one, and immediately I could think about it and not pass out or have an excruciating headache. So what he did worked. And then my wife and kids started for the next, it was about 2 weeks before they came. They were startled because when I'd go to bed, which I always went pretty early, they'd be up till late. I'd be yelling out in my sleep and screaming and talking, and they were in there filming me with cell phones and iPads while I'm doing this, saying stuff, weird stuff, like seeing beings and on Mars and all kinds of weird stuff. So eventually I began to remember some of what happened, not all. But what I can tell you, the 4 hours while I was gone was a virtual tour. I was inside a bubble, something that was solid that I could stand on, but I couldn't see the walls, but I could touch them. But I could see everything in every direction. And there were always 3 figures behind me that were shadowy, and they were narrating what I was seeing. And I saw North America from way up high. I saw the whole United States. And then I was taken to Egypt, and I saw the pyramids and this Hathor's temple. I saw that, the Sphinx facing to the east. And then the lady comes back the following year after all this. This was in 2013 is when I really got that message from her, because that's when I was asked by the Pentagon, by 2 Air Force generals, to put it in writing what she told me. And I did. And this was on the request from NASA, a friend at NASA. So he come and got it and hand-delivered it to these generals. And she told me that, she said that when the star of Regulus, she called it a red star. When you look at it, it looks blue. But she said when Regulus is red on the horizon in front of the gaze of the Sphinx before daylight. So in other words, when it's sitting right on top of the horizon before the sun comes up, that moment would mark a change in humanity's knowledge. And she showed me other things. War, us bombing Iran, us bombing Syria. And in them days, none of that had happened. So I put all that on this piece of paper. And now I've had so many write me back, oh my God, you see, they just bombed Iran, or Iran just bombed us. You were right the whole time. And I did that in 2012. And so what they did was I gave them the date of 2026 because they took that celestial event and ran it through these machines that showed that exact alignment will happen in 2026 at Easter.
What will happen?
The star will, the alignment she told me about, that the star of Regulus would be on the horizon in front of the Sphinx. At that moment, there'd be a new knowledge. Well, I had no idea if this was even possible, but these astronomers run it through the machines, and it comes out that star is going to come up on the horizon in Easter of 2026. And from that point forward, they started remote viewing the state. Government did. And now you hear it all over TV. 2026, that's the big date. 2027, that year, something's going to happen. Armageddon, you hear it all over. You know, you hear it on TV. If you study, like I've heard even, well, I won't say names, but
Please do.
well, you know Lou Elizondo, right? Lou's mentioned that date. A lot of people have.
Easter 2026.
Well, the year 2026. I gave him the specific time. And it was with Robert Grant that I told him about this alignment and all. And then he's like, oh my God. He's been looking for this ruby, this little ruby you have to find and place it between the paws of the Sphinx to make this event that he knows is going to happen in 2026. I said, Robert, it's not a ruby, it's the Star of Regulus. He looks at it, he's like, oh my God, that's the King's Star. So what's going to happen, I don't know. But I think it's possible that's the return of
Christ.
Yeah. Or the lady and the whole heavenly host living with us, Jesus. That's the first time I've ever said that in my life, publicly. You're the first. And a million people's asked me this. So I think it's entirely possible that, because she told me that when the suffering of man becomes too great, that they're going to stop it and they're going to snuff out the darkness. That's why the military and the government all want to know about this, because they know it's real. They know this lady has been seen 1,000,000 times. And when she comes, she's always warning of some big catastrophe. In the Native American world, they call her the White Buffalo Calf Lady. And she would come warning about some tribe coming to kill everybody or some big event. And it's in every culture that way. But I'm as, I wish I knew more.
Spring cleaning season is here, and I'm most excited to finally ditch my old deodorant. I just started using Mando whole body deodorant, and I'm not going back. From the founders of Lumi, Mando was created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal body odor was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. It's clinically proven to block odor all day and control it for up to 72 hours. And get this, it's proven to control odor better than a shower with soap alone. Safe to use anywhere on your body, pits, balls, feet, wherever you need it. It's baking soda free, paraben free, and aluminum free. Honestly, I was skeptical at first. I've tried a lot of deodorants, and they all kind of do the same thing. But Mando, it's just different. I've been using it all over, and I do mean all over, and I'm not getting that end-of-the-day funk that I used to. You can find Mando at Walmart, Target, and retailers across the country. If you want to try America's #1 whole-body deodorant formula, now's the time. New customers get 20% off site-wide with our exclusive code. Use code SRCLIPS at shopmando.com for 20% off site-wide. Some men mask their body odor with scents. Mando men get the job done right. Don't mask it, Mando it. Use code SRCLIPS at shopmando.com for 20% off site-wide. That's SHOPMANDO.com. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. What else do you know?
I just, I think we're living in the worst possible times right now. That if we don't make some changes, there's going to be some major disasters about to happen, and it's man-made. It's not solar flare. It's not any of that. It's is a dark force. Because she told me, well, I'll tell you what she told me. This is what I put in writing, part of it. She said, there are people in power. I put this in writing in 2012. She said, there are people in power. And I'm not going to say where she focused my thoughts on that, but they're scripting the book of Revelation to bring about Armageddon and the end of the world. They're doing it intentionally, and that's what she told me. And that's the very thing the main meat of the whole message I sent to these generals. So it makes sense, right?
Who is they?
I don't know who they are. I think they're Satanists. I think they're people that worship the dark force, that don't care for humanity and human life. And in fact, they're the total opposite of, they worship the devil. Or I don't know if there is a devil. I think it's a very dark force that is living full of dark entities that feed on you parasitically, like there'd be non-physical. They shape shift. They take your mind over. They make you do crazy things. They deceive you, make you kill somebody, go crazy. Where the angelic world are the physical beings. They can come in here and light. These beings are made of light. The dark force is a parasitic race. And whoever's aligned with that is, according to the mother, the lady, is scripting the book of Revelation. They don't want it to happen.
Why did they want it to happen?
I think it's the dark force. I think that they want to snuff out God. They don't want us to have God in our heart. Why do you think they did evolution? That's the biggest, dumbest thing I ever heard in my life, that every living thing come from a mud puddle. And it can't happen. It's just not possible. It's a laugh. It's a joke.
You know what I find interesting is from the very beginning, when you saw the being that your family, and initially you, if I remember correctly, thought was just the medication,
Right.
you had some type of an intuition from the very get-go that this was a guardian angel of some type.
Yep.
And it has progressed.
I knew I had one when I was 10. I just knew it. I knew something saved me because the doctor's like, man, you shouldn't have lived through this. If I showed you the hole in my back and the lead in front of me right here, you'd be like, how did this happen? Is that close to my spinal column? I'm leaning over a bit. Is that close to the back of my head and directly in line with my heart? And I knew the doctor told me, you're the luckiest guy in the world. And all I could think then was it wasn't luck. It was something protecting me. In fact, in my regression, 2008, if you heard the regression, they said, we were with you when you were 10 years old, and we'll be with you right on.
You know what else I find interesting? You are the only one, to my knowledge, that I've spoken to on this subject, on the UFO subject, that believes in Jesus Christ.
I do wholeheartedly. More today than I ever did.
That openly talks about it.
Yeah. More today than I ever. And that's been a problem of censorship and kind of put me on the back burner and keeping me at bay publicly.
Yeah.
It really has.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised one
But
bit.
I'd never told this message about what we just talked about until now, because now I think is the time to tell it. 12 years, 13 years, I've kept it secret. Only my family knew.
What do you think that day is going to look like? If you thought you had to...
It says in Micah, in that glorious and beautiful day, he's coming back to save us all.
Do you look forward to that day?
Absolutely.
Do you have any fear about that day?
I fear my children and these crazy people that just can't get a hold of their whatever they're doing. I'm almost 63 years old. I've been through 11 or 12 presidents. And people my age and your age, but especially my age, everything's happening now is completely not normal. And we all see the writing on the wall. We all see the players, some of these players. There's a lot behind the scene that we, especially, they're hidden, but we all see something ain't right. And there's got to be a cleansing. And the only thing that can change people is God. And the phenomena can change you inside. But there ain't going to be no change of humanity without having some spiritual thing come in and change us from the inside out there. And that's what's coming. And there's nothing nobody can do about it. They can squeal and squirm and try to make it look negative and ugly all they want. But it's not going to stop what's coming, according to her. And in the book of Revelation, in the very last chapter, it says, when the armies surround Israel on all four sides, that he's coming back to fight the battle and rid the world of evil. And then there'll be a time of peace, 1,000 years. And that's what the lady told me. Same thing. I said a lot.
Thank you for sharing that.
A whole lot. 18 years I've never told this. Or the 17 and a half years.
How does it feel to get it out?
Right. Right. I'll get a lot of blowback from this, I promise you. I just hope the world that has been told it's the devil can wake the heck up and see that a little bit of heaven's coming here to help us.
No matter where you're watching the Sean Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this at all, anything, please like, comment, and subscribe. And most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, head to Apple Podcasts and Spotify and leave us a review.